Today I'm watching Angel, Season 3, Episode 21. We're getting very, very close to the end of the third season. I'm very curious to see where it's going to go. Like I've been saying, my predictions for the season finale are going to be this showdown between Angel and Holtz. I feel like that's kind of what we've been building to this whole season, and Connor is back now as well, and we saw old Holtz is back in the previous episode as well with Connor, so I'm very worried to see what they're going to be up to, because we know Holtz obviously has this huge, vendetta against Angel and wants to unalive him, so I'm very worried to see where that's going to go. I think Holtz has been a good villain, and it's been interesting to see through the flashbacks him and Angel's backstory, because obviously Angel has this very long history as a vampire, so to find out what he did in the past and how Holtz has been, trying to track him down this whole time, basically, and, having a son this season was in no way a plot line I thought we would ever explore. We saw Connor meet up with Holtz at the end of the last episode, so I don't know what they're going to be planning. And we saw Lila go talk to Wesley and try and recruit him to Wolfram and Hart, so I hope he doesn't go down that path, but I think he's kind of in a dark place right now, and, he doesn't have his support group around him and feels like they betrayed him, and obviously went through a lot trying to protect Connor as well. And I don't think he even knows Connor is back, so is he going to find out? What's that going to look like? We've got to see a little bit of Cordelia's demon powers, which has been really interesting, so I'm curious to see how that will come into play. She doesn't really seem to have control over them. They just kind of happen. So season 3, I think, has been one of my favorite seasons so far. I really like season 2 as well, where, everything in Pylea, and we get Fred, who's been, a big part of this season as well. So yeah, I'm very curious to see how everything is going to wrap up. But thank you so much for sharing and this first time watching with me. If you have any other suggestions for TV shows you think I should watch, please comment below. And if you want to have a say in what movies or TV shows I watch, be sure to join Patreon. And as always, please like, comment, and subscribe to this channel, and check back often for more awesome content.
Not sure. But he knows where I am. He'll be fine.
Actually, he might...
Angel's like, I hate that he's not here.
Poor taught this long. He can take care of himself.
Okay, so he survived an unspeakable hell dimension. Who hasn't?
She's like, have we forgotten about Pylea?
As soon as he realizes what he needs.
And what's that?
Father.
But he has Holtz. Oh, Angel's trying so hard.
I need a room for me and my father.
My aging father. Yeah, it's like, okay, if you let it go, it'll come back. That's what he's hoping, that Connor will eventually return.
Days. We've been gone only days. Don't like this place.
Which is so crazy that so much time has passed in days.
My boy's smart. You shouldn't have followed me here. How could I?
Oh, he didn't know he was coming with him? Okay.
Remember what I've taught you. The devil will show you bright things. Many colors.
It's interesting to hear Holtz, steer Connor away from revenge. Maybe Holtz wants to kill Angel for himself. I don't know.
So, maybe if we're very, very lucky later day, we'll be able to kill something. You'd like that, wouldn't you?
She's trying to cheer him up, yeah.
What if he doesn't come back?
Yeah, of course he's gonna be worried, but yeah, he's trying to be mature about this, but I'm sure it's not easy.
Well, sometimes nothing is the best something. If a thing's meant to be, sometimes it's best to just let it happen rather than try to force it.
Yeah, he can't force Connor to be there.
And if a thing is not meant to be?
Well, then it really can't. Just because someone hops a dimension or two is no guarantee things will work out.
I think he's talking about him and Cordelia right now. There we go.
It is a beautiful day. If my princess asks, tell her I've gone for a walk.
Yeah, he can see how Cordelia acts around Angel, and...
If she asks.
I don't think she's gonna ask, which is heartbreaking.
Because he has to. Because he's family.
He's obviously curious, even if it is with bad intentions of wanting to kill Angel, he's still, I think, curious to find out more, and Holtz seems to be pushing him towards learning more, probably for his own reasons of revenge as well. Oh, Wesley. wonder who that could be from. Miss Lila.
Wow. Something here is pretty...
Oh, look who it is.
This is Stephen. Stephen, this is Fred. It's Gunn. Cordelia, and that's Lauren.
And how weird for them. Like, they just saw him 2 days ago as a baby, and now he's like a young adult.
So, I'll just be sure to hold all your calls. You guys take your time.
Yeah, and Cordelia spent a lot of time with him when he was a baby and stuff, and, you know, helped take care of him. Aw. And they're both crossing their arms.
What do you have?
We can go out.
Yeah, blood's probably not on the list.
Vampires, a gang of them! Angel, can you hear me? I can see her! A woman! Angel!
She's having a vision of this club.
It's kind of my job.
No, whatever.
It could be kind of dangerous. There's a lot of killing and violence. Do you want to come?
I was like, is he going to invite him? Oh, and Wesley's going to be at the same bar. Oh, no.
So you got my invitation?
Lila.
Of course it was her. Who else would it be? Yeah.
I thought the come alone was a particularly ironic touch. I mean, how else would you come?
Too soon. Too soon.
Don't tell me you wouldn't like to see the bitch that slit your throat and left you to die get a little of her own back.
What's going on here?
Of course she orchestrated this.
Tipped her off that tonight this place would be filthy with vampires, which, as it turns out, is true.
And that's why, yeah, she set up Justine. Oh my gosh.
To yourself as to whether or not you did the right thing.
I don't think that will be necessary.
He's gonna see Angel. Oh man. And he's gonna figure, is he gonna figure out that it's Connor? Because I don't think he knows Connor's back.
Well, you wanted to kill a man.
But Connor was also a baby, so...
Yeah.
So why do you do it?
Do what?
Why kill them if they're like you?
He's like, is this a trap? Yeah, of course they recognize each other.
I'm not Connor. Ready for another? Just stay right there.
No, I'm done.
Oh my god! Oh! Bye! Oh, right into the glass. Ooh! 1-2 punch. Goodbye. And to see Wesley watching from above. Oh my gosh. Oh, here comes Connor.
Take the one on that.
He's like, you don't need to tell me.
Well, yeah, that makes most
He's like, I'm trying to be supportive, okay?
He moves just like
His father.
Oh, he does figure it out. And now he knows Connor's back.
Go! Get out of here!
Is she gonna figure it out? She's the one that handed him to Holtz, so... And I see them, yeah, fighting together again, working together, and they obviously have similar mannerisms.
Now tell me you're not interested.
I was wondering when Wesley would find out, but I don't know what he's gonna do about it. Oh, that was a cool spin move.
something. It's good to know that you can handle yourself in a fight.
He's like, yeah, I grew up in a hell dimension. And to see the two of them play fighting, aw.
It's good to know you can do that too.
I don't think Connor really roughhoused with Holtz. Oh.
Thought he could deceive me by saving people, but it didn't work. I've seen his true face.
And I've seen yours.
Yeah, is Connor trying to play Holtz now? Okay.
Don't say.
There we were, and it was like we had never been apart. He felt it too. I know he did. You should have seen us together.
He's so proud. Such a cute moment.
After you left, I went back into my vision.
You went back in?
Don't ask.
She can do that? Yeah, that's never happened.
Let me go back in? But I was there. I saw the whole thing, you and your son.
Aw, that's so sweet.
No.
It was your need for him that drove you across the dimension.
I don't need him.
Go back to him, Stephen.
Is Holtz, like, giving him up after all this time? Telling him to go back? What?
Be together. Nothing will ever persuade me otherwise. But now it's time for me to give you back.
This has to be a trap. He's gonna send Connor back and then kill them both or something.
But I am not the one to give you answers. And there are answers. Go and find them out.
Are we supposed to believe Holtz is now giving up vengeance? And is now, like, old and wise?
Now there's a sentence I don't ever need to hear again.
But it's good, right? It means there was no big scary that came out.
And there he is. Yep. Short, old, scary Holtz.
Path. And since that happens to be a topic I know a little something about, we'll just let that slide. Now I'll fetch your pop for you.
He did give Lorne, like, an evil look when he met him before.
Actually, that's Uncle, filthy demon to you. Wasn't that long ago, like a week, I was changing your diaper.
Yes, exactly. Connor hates demons? Okay.
I see out where you're from. But Lorne's a good guy. Honestly.
It's a demon.
Right.
He doesn't differentiate between good and bad demons, yeah.
By choice. I did it so that I could help people. And so that the back of my head wouldn't.
Oh my god! Oh my god, yeah, I didn't think he'd take that news well. Cheese and rice! Oh my god. Oh, here comes the glow! I was wondering if we would see it again. Ooh, it just melted the knife. That was cool. Are they both glowing? Okay. And now it's transferring to him? What? What? What does this mean?
That's right. It's okay.
Oh, this poor kid. He's like, I've grown up a lot in 2 days, okay? I'm trying to figure my life out. Who's my dad? Who's a demon? Oh, and Cordelia used to take such good care of him as a baby. Oh.
Serious mojo going on, girl. Whatever deal you struck with the powers, it looks to me like they gave you the full package. All the extras.
Yeah, did she transfer something to Connor? Like, with a glow, like, moved over to him?
In my professional opinion, Miss Demony Britches here gave that child some kind of soul colonic. Flushed him out.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Said, we came back for a reason.
Is he gonna put together that we means Holtz? Yeah, exactly.
In fact, don't go there at all.
I have to.
I know. But don't.
I'm not gonna kill him, even though he deserves it.
Oh, I don't care if you kill him. Connor's childhood, so kill him.
He's like, that's not the answer I was expecting, okay.
Way to build the trust.
I'm not lying to him.
No, you're just sending him off to be distracted while you go confront the man he thinks of as his father.
Yeah, it's not a great start, obviously. Yes, but in his mind, he doesn't really think of you that way, unfortunately.
I'd have followed you into hell if you would have let me.
Thank God you didn't.
Why is she still so committed to this guy?
I don't know. I know what I'd do. But Angel will deal with Holtz in his own way.
Did he hear them? He's figured out their plan, I think. Yep.
Oh my God, do you know how happy this makes me? I asked you not to go and you didn't go. I'm so glad to see you.
It's gonna be Gru. Yep. And she didn't notice he was gone all day.
Details begin to escape me.
You stole my son.
Yep, here we go.
You'll not at mine.
I mean, that is true. In a very dark way.
So was I. You feel remorse?
He does have a soul.
No. I have nothing to offer the boy. You can give him what I can't.
I still don't trust this. There's gotta be something else.
Every time he calls you father, you will be reminded of that which you took and can never give back.
Are we supposed to believe Holtz is now, like, enlightened and is like, vengeance is overrated?
It's not sealed. I expect you'll examine it. You should.
Why are you doing this?
Yeah, exactly. There's gotta be something else going on. Not the showdown I was expecting, but...
You never will.
Well, I think Connor has daddy issues, to say the least.
By the time you receive this, I will be gone. I hope one day you will be able to forgive an old man's weakness.
He's gonna blame Angel for this.
I could not bear.
Don't make me do it. I can't.
We already know you can. You promised.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
Come on, Justine. I'm not asking you to follow me into hell. Just help send me there.
No, she has to kill him? Oh, my gosh. Oh, God. She really did like him. Oh. Oh.
By that certainty, and in the knowledge that with him.
What? What? His last words. Oh. And of course to have Angel say Connor at the same time. Connor's gonna blame Angel for this, no matter what Angel says.
For whatever lies ahead, I trust I have. Be brave. Lovingly, your father.
And to see his dad like that, oh my gosh, this poor kid. Is Justine gonna admit it? I don't know.
And jealous.
Yes, I frickin' knew it. There was no way. Ah, frickin' stinker. Oh my god. Of course Holtz is gonna frame Angel for this. There's no way he suddenly became like this. Oh, after all these years of vengeance, I'm giving up. Nope. So that was my first time watching Angel, season 3, episode 21. I think it was a great episode. As we were progressing through the episode, I was like, okay, is this going to be a 2-part episode? You know, things were happening and I wasn't sure how they were going to end it. And I wasn't expecting Justine to be the one to kill Holtz, because this whole season, you know, we've building this, you know, vengeance story between Angel and Holtz, you know, being adamant on killing Angel. And yeah, I wasn't expecting that. And considering we know how much Justine cares about Holtz and how devastated she was when he left, and, you know, to hear her say like, oh, I would still follow you, like, it almost feels like someone who's been brainwashed and is just like part of this program and it's just like whatever you want, like is putting her own needs at risk, obviously, and doing whatever this person wants because this is who she's worshipping, basically, for, you know, lack of a better word. And when we had that shot of Justine, you know, kind of stopping after the one, like, she didn't slice his throat. We know she's fully capable of doing that because that's what she did to Wesley. But to see her, like, stab him once and, you know, she was struggling. Like, it wasn't something she wanted to do, obviously. But then when she pulled back and stopped, I was like, okay, you know, they had that kind of quick shot of the blood. And I was like, is Justine gonna turn Holtz into a vampire? Which I know isn't possible because Justine isn't a vampire and actively hunts vampires. So I was like, okay, where, you know, what does that mean? Like, they showed us this for a reason. Like, everything, you know, is pretty intentional with this show. And then to see at the end, obviously, that weapon that she had used looked like teeth marks, looked like fang marks. And even before that, I was like, Connor's, no matter what happens to Holtz, Connor is going to blame Angel because he overheard it. And we know Connor is human as well, but obviously has this, you know, super strong hearing. Here's Fred and Gunn talking about this and runs, you know, just to see Holtz laying there dead, which obviously was Holtz's intention. You know, he wanted to set up Angel, obviously, and even if Justine had slit Holtz's throat or shot him or killed him some other way, whatever it was, I think Connor would have blamed Angel because obviously from the conversation he overheard, he knew Angel was going to see Holtz. He knew Angel hadn't told him that, like Cordelia had suggested, like, don't lie to your kid. Like, he's only been here 2 days and already is, you know, skeptical of you. And now you're not telling him the whole truth. Not a straight out lie, but obviously hiding things from him. And we know how Connor feels about Holtz. Like, he's been so defensive of him, so protective of him, and, you know, calling him his dad the whole time, because that's how he views him. Because in the 20 years he's grown up, in 2 days, basically, this is the only person he's known who's been protective of him and helping him. And so I had no doubt that no matter what happened to Holtz, that Connor would blame Angel. And obviously this is very much putting the blame on Angel, that it's going to be a vampire. And we saw how Connor reacted when demons were around. So unfortunately, I think now as Connor is going to continue Holtz's legacy of revenge, basically. And now he'll be the one to kill Angel, which I think is even more horrible. And that's what Holtz wants, is that Holtz killing Angel would be for his own revenge. But to set up his son to kill him is just a whole new level of horribleness and evil, even for Holtz's standards. Like, that is a whole new bar. The fact that he's willing to sacrifice himself, basically, so that, you know, to see his own son come at him and try and kill him. And we know Connor tried to kill Angel when he first came through the portal, but much like Holtz being fueled to kill Angel from the loss of his son, now Connor is going to be fueled to kill Angel through the loss of his father figure, basically. And even though Angel is his dad, you know, in Connor's mind, Holtz has been that father figure. So I'm very worried to see where the last episode's going to go. I thought the showdown between Angel and Holtz would be in the next episode, as we, you know, the season finale, but we did see them, you know, have their meeting in this episode, and it wasn't anticlimactic now that we know how it ends, but at the time I was kind of like, something didn't sit right, you know, especially when you've seen these shows long enough, you've seen Buffy long enough, you know this world, and things are never as simple as they seem. So for Angel to just walk away, which I wasn't surprised at. I know Angel wants to kill Holtz, but I think he wouldn't because of Connor. So I wasn't surprised to see him leave, but the fact that Holtz is portraying himself now as this, like, enlightened, like, oh, you know, I'm old and wise, basically, like, I've changed, and, you know, my love outweighs my hate for Connor, and maybe it does, maybe that was true, and, you know, he decides to use his love for Connor to sacrifice himself, but also he's then setting up Connor to go and kill his son. And the whole conversations of just, you know, you're not the boy I raised if you kill your father, obviously was all garbage. It was just brainwashing and gaslighting poor Connor, whose poor head and heart are just even more confused now and doesn't know what to believe. And, you know, all he feels now is sad that his dad's gone, basically. And, you know, they're very clearly pointing at a vampire, and of course it can't just be a random vampire. He definitely thinks it's Angel, and, you know, I'm very worried to see where that's gonna go. But I in no way thought Holtz had given up his hundreds of years of revenge, you know, hunting down Angel this whole time, just because he had Connor for, 20 years or whatever it was in the other dimension. But still, there's no way this man was so dedicated to getting Angel and killing Angel and hurting Angel, and even to hear Angel apologize. Like, he tried, and obviously Angel is a different version of Angel, and hopefully we never see, knock on wood, we never see that version again, but Angel can't fix what happened in the past. And to hear him apologize, I don't think Holtz really cared about, but I think it was a bit of a humbling moment for Angel to be like, look, I'm sorry. Like, I obviously feel remorse. I have the soul, and, you know, he wouldn't do that today, obviously, but that's what happened in the past and kind of, you know, sparked this whole revenge story for Holtz's storyline. But I in no way believed that Holtz was genuine when he was trying to spew all this, like, Zen, you know, I love you, and, you know, my love for my son now has changed me. No, this man is not going to change. He doesn't get that story arc. I refuse to believe that he would get that story arc of having this big, you know, shift in his motivations from going from revenge, hate, building an army. Like, we've seen him done so many things to then suddenly shift because of Steven/Connor. No, there's no way I was buying that. I feel like Gru and Cordelia are gonna break up very soon because it was tough to watch, and they've played it up in a few episodes before as well, where Gru is kind of watching Cordelia to see how she acts around Angel, and I feel bad because I feel like when Cordelia left Pylea, that was the end of her relationship with Gru. In her head, like, I feel like, okay, the timing's not going to work out. Obviously, she's not staying in Pylea, and, you know, here we are. Maybe she didn't have as strong of feelings for Angel at the time, but either way, I think she kind of closed that chapter when she left. And then to see Gru and Lauren talking, and, you know, maybe it starts off about Connor, but obviously, you know, like Lauren said, that subtext about it being about Gru and Cordelia, how she is just kind of taking advantage of him, and he clearly likes her a lot more than she likes him. And we know she and Angel had a few moments in previous episodes as well. So that shot of, you know, Gru coming down the stairs and Cordelia thinking it's Angel, and obviously they also look very similar, you know, after his makeover, and just her face lights up. She's got this big smile, and she's like, oh, I'm so happy to see you. She's like, you actually listened to me, which we know he didn't, but Gru's face just kind of drops. It felt like a bit of a test, and she obviously didn't ask where he was all day. Like, the last time we saw him was at the start of the episode when he said he was going for a walk. And, you know, even when he tells Lauren, like, hey, if she asks, like, knowing that she's not gonna ask. She's more focused on Angel, more focused on this, and, you know, I don't even think she brought up Gru for the entire episode, like, not even where is he, or, you know, anything like that. So she obviously either didn't notice or didn't care enough to notice that he wasn't there and to find out what had happened to him. Like, something horrible could have happened. They deal with weird supernatural stuff all the time. Didn't ask. So I feel like that was kind of Gru's, maybe not the last straw, but probably getting pretty close at this point, because he's not an idiot. He can see how much, you know, she cares about Angel, and to go back into her visions and sees this moment between Angel and Connor, and it kind of feels like they're building this little family almost. I know Connor's not a baby anymore, but to feel like they're kind of like playing mom and dad with Connor, and, you know, she's the one that cleanses his soul with her powers as well, which was crazy. And I definitely feel like Cordelia's powers are only going to come out in life or death situations. She doesn't seem to be, you know, training them or trying to practice with them or anything. And she also doesn't really seem to have control over them. It's not until Connor, you know, attacks her that her powers come out. And when the glow kind of transferred from Cordelia and Connor to just Connor, it's like, is she somehow transferring her powers to him? What does that look like? And we saw Connor give Lauren a very, you know, kind of suspicious look, and at first I was like, oh, he just maybe hasn't seen a demon like this, so he's just, you know, curious and is trying to figure things out. But no, clearly wanted to unalive Lauren and Cordelia when he found out about her being part demon as well. And the fact that Cordelia could cleanse his soul, was not expecting that, because, yeah, obviously he's been through a lot in 2 days, 20 years, whatever dimension he was in, and, you know, has seen a lot of things and has kind of developed this, like, hardened, tough guy exterior, you know, the Destroyer, and she cleansed it, and we see him kind of, you know, have a moment and start to cry, and just probably just needed a hug, and probably just needed somebody to talk to. And, you know, we saw how much Cordelia, you know, cared for him when he was a baby, and how the whole group, when they see him, you know, I think it was a bit of a coming home for them as well, because they only knew him as a baby, and now they get to see him as this adult person. And, you know, I can't imagine how bizarre that would be, you know, literally going from changing his diapers, like Lauren says, to, you know, now having a full-on conversation with him as an adult. So, yeah, very interesting. But you could kind of just see, like, everybody's eyes getting a little teary, because they're like, oh, our boy is back, like, our baby is back. And, yeah, obviously he's seen a lot in the short time he's been gone. I really liked the scene at the bar, at the club. I thought that was a really cool shot, and lots of players involved in that, which I think made it really cool. And to find out, yeah, Cordelia was watching that scene, and I don't know if she can go back into every vision now. That would have been helpful probably for other visions when she only had certain pieces and they needed more information, but to her to go back and kind of watch was interesting. So, you know, we find out Lila has set up Wesley, and he just walks away, but this is the first time Wesley has seen Angel since everything is, you know, happened, and Angel doesn't see Wesley, but Wesley now knows that Connor is back, and Angel knows Holtz is back, obviously. So I feel like this episode was a lot of, like, secrets coming to light, and, you know, people finding out things, and I'm very curious to see where the next episode's going to go, especially the last episode of the season. But everybody knows everybody is back at this point, and, you know, obviously we also lost Holt in this episode as well. But that scene at the bar, I wasn't expecting to ever see Justine again. I thought her character was done. You know, when Holtz left, we had a few episodes after, but it's like she's gone, and Lila tests Wesley with unaliving someone, basically, and we know Wesley always tries to do the right thing, so that obviously didn't work. But Yeah, it was interesting, and I wish Wesley would have said more. I'm not surprised he didn't, but he just kind of walks away, has his like moment, and just wants to separate himself. And he also knows Angel will kill him, so I don't blame him for not going up to Angel and being like, "Hi, buddy." Obviously, that's not going to happen right now, but just see so many characters in the same scene that we don't usually get to see was interesting. And just the way Connor and Angel fought together, you could tell that there was something special about that. And Angel trying to be like, "Oh, go there," and you know, Connor's already there. And I didn't think Angel would invite Connor because it obviously is a dangerous situation, but clearly Connor can hold his own. And just to see them like play fighting and roughhousing and kind of having this little bonding moment in the alley, I thought was really sweet. And maybe that was the turning point for Holtz when he's decided, you know, I'm going to frame Angel for this. And I thought Holtz would have came through with Connor at the same time, but again, we find out that's not true, that Holtz followed Connor out and Connor came on his own. And to see Angel try and again navigate, you know, being a parent in this world and, you know, trying to give Connor space because he can't force him. He can't kidnap him, take him back to the hotel and lock him in a room forever. Like, that's not going to happen. So Connor has to want to be there. And unfortunately, I think now after everything that happened with Holtz, there's no way. I don't think any amount of explaining or conversations will convince Connor that, you know, he's now going to spend time with Angel. Even if Connor did feel something, you know, while they were roughhousing or when they were in the bar, you know, actually fighting vampires together, I think the hate that consumed Holt is now going to take over Connor, and it's just going to be another vengeance story. But yeah, please no spoilers, so I'm very curious to see how everything will wrap up. Overall, I thought it was a great episode. I'm nervous and curious to see how the whole season is going to come to an end in the next episode. To have us lose Holtz in this episode, who's been our main villain, you know, this entire season, was not how I expected. But again, the show rarely does what I think it's going to do. So to have Justine, you know, frame Angel, and I was like, is she going to confess when Connor shows up? Obviously not. So I'm worried to see where Connor's, you know, rage is going to go and vengeance, and I think it's going to be harder for Angel to know that Connor is back and chooses not to be with him. But maybe Angel will just be happy that Connor's alive. We saw Holtz mention that as well. Like, yes, I took your son, but he's back now and he's alive. And Holtz is like, I don't get that. You know, like, my son is gone forever, basically. And curious to see what's going to happen with Crew and Cordelia and Lila and Wesley. And yeah, a really great season overall. So I'm very curious to see where everything is going to land in the next episode. But thank you so much for sharing in this first time watching with me. If you have any other suggestions for TV shows you think I should watch, please comment below. And as always, please like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. And check back often for more awesome content. I don't think she's gonna ask, which is heartbreaking. And I see them, yeah, fighting together again, working together, and they obviously have similar mannerisms. And is now like old and wise. Oh, here comes the glow! He's like, yeah, I grew up in a hell dimension. And to see the two of them play fighting, aw. He does have a soul. And to see his dad like that, oh my gosh, this poor kid.